Alright, so I've seen Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and this is the third installment in this video game adaptation franchise where we will return with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, aka Team Sonic, that is facing a new threat, and that is Shadow, that is planning on like ruling everything, and especially from the lore. And I gotta say, this was an absolute blast, and it was the best entry in this franchise. And oh my gosh, there is so much to talk about here right now. And so this will be my full non-spoiler review for the movie, go over my impressions and my thoughts, and like especially for what I truly liked about this movie and what I think fans will definitely love about this movie. But let's get into it right here, right now. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so it's on any future videos. But now, let's talk about this movie. And now, if you don't know the first two Sonic movies, and even though that this franchise is going to keep on going, but even though I like the two, but even with the first Sonic movie, and that has the humor that is cliche, and even though it has like kid-friendly tone, but even though what the stuff that I wasn't crazy about with the first two movies, especially with the human subplots, but even though I enjoyed the Sonic lore that is adapted in the first two movies, especially as the second movie was a real step up of introducing Knuckles and everything else with the lore of the games, especially with introducing Tom, aka the Donut Lord, and Maddie, and even for how Sonic is going to be developed as a character later down the road. But even with the third installment, like, I just want to say, I think it lives up and exceeds expectations, because I mean, I went into this hesitant because I didn't want to overhype myself. But even like out of everything people have been saying, especially the people behind the scenes that have been saying about this movie, it absolutely delivers. Because even with Sonic the Hedgehog 3, like we see Team Sonic with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles facing a new threat, and that is Shadow. But even for how they handle everything, like it is absolutely action-packed. Even though it does deliver on the humor and that tone of being kid-friendly, but on the other side, it manages to deliver dark themes, because even though it's got that PG rating, it does not hold back, because they really want to tell the story so well to the fans, especially if you are a fan of the games. I believe that you will go crazy for this, because there is so much to the lore they ever opened upon with this movie, and I absolutely adored it, because especially Sonic has developed more as a character than we ever thought, because especially as we were introduced to him in the first Sonic movie, especially with this planet and how it came into our world, especially with Mother Owl. And what this third installment does, it increasingly it expands Sonic's journey, because even though he has begun to make friends with Tails, and even though with Knuckles, but even though as these three are coming together to eventually form a team, and that's what I really adored about this movie. And also with Shadow, they really waste no time with his story, because even when he is first introduced in the movie, and especially with his backstory with Maria, and especially with these two, they have amazing chemistry on screen. It really felt really heartfelt. It hits on your heartstrings. It has so many emotions for the way that they pull this story off. And even though he's voiced by Keanu Reeves, as we all know, the man, the myth, the legend himself, who is basically John Wick, he basically delivers passion and dedication to this character, and that's what I really liked about it. Even from a beginning to end, I definitely enjoyed it, but I cannot stop bragging about how good Shadow is at being the main antagonist for this movie. And aside from the fact that there are two Dr. Robotniks, that's right, two Jim Carreys, and the way that they pull off the scenario of two characters being played by the same actor, and with a regular Robotnik and Daryl Robotnik as what we call it, I think two Eggmen. But I gotta say, I believe Jim Carrey plays so much into the role of Dr. Robotnik, because I just like the character so much, and even though for the way that he is developed, because even though like from what we've seen, and I think he delivers a good performance as well. But even with the story, and they do the human subplots good, but even though I'm not a fan of them, but they do like a little bit, but they really focus on what the fans really want. And also with the action that is performed right here, like it never stops. But even though I had a bit of problems with the pacing, that's like the one minor issue I have, but aside from all that, it really delivers a awesome movie that I think like fans will definitely love going into this movie, because especially for the fact that there are Easter eggs, nods, and references, especially to pop culture, of course. But it really delivers everything. Like it like never stops going, because I feel like I was really having fun with this movie. But I think that this movie exceeds all of my expectations. And I think when this movie comes out, it will generate so much conversation, and especially from beginning, middle, and end. And oh boy, because I think the ending and the post-credit scenes will definitely generate a lot of voices. Even though on top of that, it also delivers high stakes, especially for our characters, and because it's especially like it delivers emotions, because even though like I like the first two movies, but even with the third installment, it really delivers everything. Like they do not waste any time. Like, and you know that's what I love about this movie. Like, is you gotta have action, you gotta have emotions, and the story. And trust me, it delivers so much that they could ever want. And I believe it is going to be a higher rating in my book. And even with the way the fight scenes go down, it is truly epic. Like especially like for the way that like Team Sonic fights against Shadow, like because especially in these scenes right here, like they go hard on the action, like they go action packed. Like, and I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, but I wouldn't mind a Knuckles and a Shadow spinoff. But even like with the way that Shadow is portrayed here, and how he is absolutely powerful, and with the way that he's able to take down Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, it is really super powerful, and that's what I really enjoy about the portrayal of the character, like his powers of what he is capable of. And I think with him, like, just with everything that he's been through, with pain and tragedy, especially with his past, it is really set into him of the way that he really brings his A game. Like, I mean, I believe when Shadow was first introduced in the post-credit scene of Sonic 2, fans went crazy. But even with him being introduced as the villain in the third movie, and I think like he brings the action, he brings it, because especially like that's what I really enjoyed about this, because even with the humans, because I like Tom and Maddie, especially being watched over as Sonic's guardians, and especially like you could really feel like the stakes and all of the actions. I mean, Sonic is like could lose like everyone that he loves, and the way that is pulled up, like even with a serious moment, whether that is like emotions, it is never interrupted by like a silly moment that happens. But even though it's got some moments that'll make you laugh out loud, and that's what I really like. It manages to go back to the theme of having storytelling, and also a lot of action too. Even though I love Sonic as a character, and with the way that this franchise is forever growing, I mean, I wouldn't mind like 4 to 5 to 6 more movies of these, because they keep on introducing like new characters into this franchise, and that's what I really like about it, especially as the lore and references from the games that they're in here. I mean, I think fans will definitely go crazy over this. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't wait for everyone to talk about it when it officially comes out. And I definitely enjoyed my time with it. I was literally like had a smile on my face, like especially like with this movie, like it all throughout it, and even with the third act, and with the way they pull that off, and I was literally like rooting for these characters, because and I believe that towards the end that there are so many reveals that I totally recommend to stay off of social media if you want to go into this movie spoiler free, because there is like a ton of spoilers. But even with one of the two post-credit scenes, it definitely had my theater cheering when this character reveal happened. But I think it's a way to set up for what's in store for the next couple movies. And I think this universe, as I said, it's forever expanding, because these movies are never going to end. They're just going to keep on making more and generating more box office money. And that's what I really liked about this franchise, because not only like it does not only serve as a kids movie, but also a film for adults as well who really like this character. But even though I really enjoyed it, so I think it's like a definite recommend. It's a sort of on the level of an MCU level-ish tone, but it does manage to deliver a fun and great movie, especially for the whole family. It comes out this holiday season, so take the fam, go get your tickets and spread the love, spread the word about this movie, and that's all I got for you. And I really enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and I can't wait to see what's in store next for the future, especially with everything being introduced. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments below, and how excited are you for Sonic the Hedgehog 3? And if you have already seen the movie, give me a rating between 1 out of 10. What did you think about the movie? Just let me know in the comments. And plus, we'll talk about more when this movie does come out. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn notifications bell for future videos, and also follow all my social medias, all the links down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.